2025 has been a blessing when it comes to professional wrestling, whether you're an AEW fan, WWE, TNA, New Japan, CMLL, whomever you prefer to watch, 2025 has been a great year. And over the next several weeks to close out 2025, I am going to be doing videos of the best and worst of the year, the top fives, and everything that has to do with 2025. Cool part is we've had amazing crossovers and even brands and wrestlers showing up on promotions that you're like, I never thought I would see this any day in my life. And guess what? We had it all. And granted, there has been some horrible moments in 2025 and horrible booking in 2025 when it comes to professional wrestling, and it's triggered the IWC. Honestly, the only thing the IWC can actually agree on in 2025 is that WrestlePalooza was damn well the worst PLE since Evolution 1. But I digress. And in today's videos, we are going to start the month off hot with the best matches of 2025. And guys, I know people can come for me in the comments, and if you want, you can have me do an AEW, New Japan, CMLL, whatever type of video for those best matches. But for this video, we are sticking with WWE, AAA, TNA, and NXT branding only. With that being said, let's move on to the video. The best part about WWE this year is they have opened up the proverbial forbidden door with the acquisition of AAA, the partnership with TNA, and obviously their brand NXT. And with all of that, we have gotten some amazing matches. You look at September 12th, Worlds Collide, El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. versus Dragon Lee, Ethan Page, and JD McDonough in that fatal four-way match. That was one of the standout matches that AAA put on at a Worlds Collide this year. It has not made the top 5, but is one of those memorable matches where anything could have happened, and these guys threw everything out there to put on a phenomenal match. Going back to the start of the year, January 6th, the debut of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, and we had two absolute bangers. Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. I believe that kicked off the Monday Night Raw, and then you had CM Punk versus Seth freaking Rollins, which was just a blood feud, and we finally got to see them absolutely obliterate each other. Over on NXT on May 27th, Ethan Page versus Ricky Saints. This match absolutely is slept on for 2025. These are two AEW guys. Both of these guys have taken the proverbial brass ring and run with it and reached for that glass ceiling and broke through it. Both of these guys actually fall on many best matches of the years that I can think of. You look at January 19th, TNA Genesis, Moose versus Ace Austin in 2025. Yes, please. Run this back again. I loved everything about this match, and this just showed what the partnership with WWE was going to lead to. Yes, both of these guys were TNA guys at the time, but I will say this had WWE written all over it. And then you look at March 3rd, WWE's Raw, Io versus Rhea Ripley for the women's world title, and Rhea Ripley, 1 month, almost to the day, drops the women's world title in a 5-star classic against Io Sky, basically getting distracted by Bianca Belair. But overall, this was one of the best female matches of the year. Honestly, when you look at everything that happened this year, the women took over. I can name countless women's matches on all the brands that could arguably be in the top matches of the year. Those are just some matches that come to mind, but they don't even rank even close to the top 10 when it comes to matches of 2025. Here are some matches that are real conversation makers. Let's start off with Backlash 2025, the Fatal 4-Way, Jacob Fatu, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and LA Knight. This is an interesting match. A guy who should have at least one world title under his belt in LA Knight, Damian Priest, an ex-world champion, Drew McIntyre, a multiple-time world champion, and then the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu, who is hands down probably going to have that world title reign in late 2026 after his return from injury. These guys destroyed each other in this match, and with the names on this list, what you guys expected from this match, all four of these men delivered tenfold, and this is showing why Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest are slept on and should be in more of the top tier world title and WWE undisputed title picture at all times, and actually get to go over once or twice, instead of just getting buried by whoever WWE wants to be the face of the company. Drew McIntyre is arguably one of the best in the business right now, one of the best storytellers, characters, and in-ring performers, and Damian Priest has that aura to him as well. Jacob Fatu and LA Knight, both of them US champions, future world champions, both of them came in to prove a point in this match, and it was absolutely phenomenal, and one match that I'm going to look back again in the end of 2025 and 2026 and the future and say, can we get this again? Like, I would love to run it back. Triple Mania, Pagano Psycho Clown versus Angel Umberto in a street fight. Again, I cannot talk any more highly about the AAA acquisition by WWE. This has elevated AAA and put lucha wrestling on the map like it should have been 20 years ago. This gives that opportunity for AAA to branch out to the casual fair weather wrestling fans that only prefer WWE or AEW. This allows these performers out of Mexico to really shine. And every time they have been given the opportunity, these guys have shown up. Triple Mania, Pagano, Psycho Clown, Angel Umberto, who were kind of floundering through 2025 on the SmackDown brand, really stepped it up going down to AAA and showing what they're worth. There was incredible spots in and out of the ring, table spots. This was a genuine lucha street fight with a full WWE production behind it, and all four of these men deserve to be WWE main roster ready if they can keep coming out and performing like this. One of my favorite matches of the year, Clash in Paris, Sheamus versus Rusev in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook. This match slapped. If you were not entertained by this match, you are not a sports and entertainment fan. Yes, we all agreed that the feud between Rusev and Sheamus got old real quick, but this being the blow-off match with some ridiculous spots, we had kegs, we had bottles, we had shillelaghs, we had tables, we had everything in this match. And the other part about this was the commentators helped sell it to a T. These boys beat each other up. Like, genuinely, you could tell these are two very good friends outside of WWE, beat the absolute crap out of each other for 18 to 20 minutes, and the crowd was on the edge of their seats. The weird part about these matches, like a good old-fashioned Donnybrook or a Thanksgiving turkey dinner match, whatever you guys want to talk about, this match being a major gimmick, people tend to roll their eyes and they're like, oh, well, they'll have some fun spots, but it's not really going to deliver. Now, this match delivered tenfold. And Rusev coming out on top as well was needed for Rusev's career. Unfortunately, it floundered with his return and everything that's happened since then. And Rusev still really hasn't been able to hit that trajectory. We'll see what happens with the John Cena final match tournament, but this was one of the top matches of the year. I could put it in the top 10, but I have so many written down that only 5 really hit that key memorable moment. But moving on, but this match was amazing. Back to TNA Genesis, Santana versus Josh Alexander in an I Quit match. If I was to pick a wrestler that has had a incredible year, and I am going to do this video down the line in December, Mike Santana is in my top 5 for wrestlers of the year. And just looking at his body of work from the start of January all the way through to last week, as of the recording of this video, Mike Santana has hit the highs and the lows in professional wrestling just this year, but had his chin up, done the work, not complained, and in my mind is one of the top wrestlers of 2025. Let me know in the comments what you guys think on this, but Mike Santana deserves all the flowers when it comes to stepping away from being a literal career tag wrestler to stepping out on his own and making amazing moves in HOG, TNA, GCW, NXT, everything. And I am looking forward to Mike Santana probably showing up in the 2026 Royal Rumble. I really hope for that. But this match was arguably the match that had Josh Alexander leave TNA and go over to AEW. Josh Alexander, a staple, almost a pillar of TNA over the last decade. And this match was what had him move on in a brutal I Quit match. These guys absolutely victimized each other, and it was a pleasure to watch this match. Josh Alexander makes the move to AEW, and you know, he's done some things. I believe he's joined the Don Callis Society over in AEW, but the real conversation here is Mike Santana coming out of this match. Keeping with TNA Genesis, the same card, Tessa Blanchard versus Jordynne Grace. Listen, I know some people are going to come for me in the comments on this, but Tessa Blanchard versus Jordynne Grace was the epitome of a TNA knockouts match. No matter what you say about Tessa Blanchard and Jordynne Grace moving to NXT shortly after this, this match stood out as both of these women needing to prove why they are in TNA. Tessa really needing to escape that dark cloud that she's always under, and Jordynne Grace needing to move from the big fish in the small pond to the big fish in the ocean, going to WWE. Both these women stood out and really showed out in this match. I cannot say anything more about this match. Just go back and watch TNA Genesis. TNA Genesis, I could probably put on the top 5 PLEs across these 4 brands of 2025. Maybe I should do that video. Guys, let me know in the comments about that as well. Should I do a top 5 PLEs of WWE, TNA, AAA, and NXT for 2025. Guys, we're going to take a short break. Don't forget to go and click in the link below. StraightShoot.co is our Straight Shoot Unfiltered newsletter. We do giveaways every single month, and going into John Cena's final match, we are giving away a PSA 9 mint autograph John Cena card to one lucky follower and subscriber of the Unfiltered newsletter. All you have to do is sign up for free at straightshoot.co, and you will be entered in for the draw on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MrTeshk, on December 19th. Now, back to the video. Moving on with 2 more matches before we get to our top 5, we have TNA's Roadblock, March 11th, Javon Evans versus Ethan Page. I believe this was one of the first few main events that Ethan Page had in 2025. It wasn't a main event, but this was one of the major talking points for Ethan Page in this match. Javon, this kid, like I mentioned with Mike Santana, is arguably one of the performers and wrestlers of the year when it comes to these 4 brands. We could bring it all together and we can do a top 10 of all wrestlers across all promotions, but if we're looking at these 4 solely, Javon Evans is literally someone to watch for potentially even the main roster in WWE in 2026, but Javon Evans is one of the top performers of 2025. This match was absolutely gold. You don't need to dive too much into it. It was a clinic between Ethan Page's ground and pound style to Javon Evans' beautiful high risk aerial style, which really complemented each other. Sometimes these don't work. These two working together, I can see this being a feud for many, many years to come. Final match before we get into the top 5, AAA's Worlds Collide, June 7th. Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Laredo Kid, and Rey Fenix in a fatal 4-way. Just go watch it. I don't need to talk about it. Just go watch it. These guys went off. And this is why I love that AAA is getting the mainstream viewership that WWE brings in, because these casual fans are getting to see what long-term wrestling fans that watch every single promotion have been seeing from month to month. And with a WWE promotion and cross branding, putting NXT wrestlers, main roster wrestlers, and AAA wrestlers all in a match, it's a beautiful chaos and mayhem of what these performers can do. But now for what all you guys have been waiting for, and guys, after the top 5 is done, please leave a comment down below. Please let me know what the top matches of 2025 in your mind would be, and if I completely butchered this list, but I am going to break it down right now, starting with number 5, Worlds Collide LA, June 7th, El Hijo del Vikingo versus Chad Gable. A lot of people would put this a lot higher. I am only putting this at number 5 because this was one of the purest wrestling matches I have ever seen. And if it was on a bigger stage, a SummerSlam, a WrestleMania card, arguably this would have been my pick of the year. Unfortunately, I don't think enough eyes were on it, but Del Vikingo and Chad Gable absolutely blew the roof off in a technical masterpiece. The whatever, I don't know if it's a 450 or a 720 or a 540 dive outside the ring onto Chad Gable left me speechless. I genuinely believe if Chad Gable had not got himself injured, he would have taken the El Grande Americano character and just taken it to heights even what Ludwig Kaiser apparently could even take it to. Chad Gable, when he comes back in 2026, I think is going to be a Intercontinental Champion, a US Champion, and maybe in 2027, a future World Champion. And he deserves all the flowers in this match because he was going into enemy territory, forced to put on a classic, and it reminded me of Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle from back in the early 2000s. This, I can't talk any highlier about this match. If this was, I don't even know what the match rating for this was. It should have been a 5 or more, but this was in my mind one of the best matches I have ever seen in my career of watching professional wrestling, and definitely one of the top 5 matches of 2025. Now, this is going to be a little controversial, so I'm going to give you an explanation why. Arguably, this match should have been on WrestleMania. It was on the SmackDown before WrestleMania, but I have also chosen to go with the second installment of this match. SummerSlam Night 2, the Wyatt Sixes, Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy versus literally the entire SmackDown roster of Tag Team Division. The Street Profits, DIY. I can't remember everybody that was in this match, but this match, both of these matches deserve to be in the top 5, so I've clumped them together at number 4. And the only reason I have put SummerSlams ahead of the SmackDown, even though the SmackDown was better, it's because it was on the SummerSlam card. More eyes, more pressure, and these guys showed out like it was the first installment on SmackDown before WrestleMania. These guys cooked. And the fact, it's an abomination that these guys were not on WrestleMania for this match, because it would have been probably the best match or one of the two best matches of WrestleMania in 2025. All these guys turned up, Dexter and Gacy putting their bodies on the line. It was just, again, beautiful madness when it comes to professional wrestling. And if you are a lover of everything sports entertainment and pro wrestling, beautiful madness is what you search for. And arguably the two matches I've already mentioned, or the three, number 5 and number 4, were pure beautiful madness. So both of these matches deserve to be shouted out on this list. And I'm going to say this right now, the SummerSlam takes it just because of the stage it was on, but the SmackDown was just as good, if not better. At number 3 on our list, SummerSlam Night 2, Cody Rhodes and John Cena in a street fight. This match told an amazing story. It was the politician and the uber baby face Cody Rhodes versus very in his moment, end of his career, John Cena as the undisputed WWE champion. There were spots in this matches that was just cinema and beautiful storytelling. John Cena with Cody Rhodes over his shoulders, rising out of the ashes and the smoke of the stage, very much like Cody Rhodes' entrance into every major WrestleMania match and major SummerSlam match that he goes into, with the mask on and the Iron Man helmet. The storytelling by John Cena and Cody Rhodes in this match was amazing. We had so many false finishes that kept the crowd on their feet, and we also expected something so much more from this match, but we didn't get it. But I don't think it takes away from what this match was. John Cena going in saying that he is the last real champion. He is leaving WWE with the undisputed WWE championship. Cody's right, nope, you're not doing that. And we got Super Cena versus Super Cody in a 5-star classic. The Avalanche AA with the 2.99995 kick out by Cody, very Roman Reigns-esque, was incredible. And for this being a street fight and really not getting any involvement from anyone, it was a nice symbolic moment that you can have a pure street fight without it being like bloodline rules. You know what I mean? So this match I really enjoyed. The only thing that this match was lacking was a double turn. I think all of us expected the double turn in this match, and it really didn't come, and it fell a little flat. We all expected, we did see kind of a turn for face for Cena, where he picks up the title and hands it to Cody at the end and gives him his moment. But really, it wasn't exactly what we all expected. But at the end of the day, I believe we got John Cena handing over the title to Cody, kind of passing the torch symbolically, following Cody leaving the ring first, and Cena, tapping the mat, showing the love. And then we obviously got the return of the Beast Brock Lesnar, which led into one of the most pointless matches of John Cena's entire retirement tour, in that 6-minute squash match by Brock Lesnar, I believe in Saudi Arabia. I can't remember where that match was, but we're just not talking about it because it doesn't deserve to even be talked about on the best matches of 2025 list. Anyways, what a match. I am adding a second match to the third place section just because I think they are on the same level, and it was Crown Jewel, John Cena versus AJ Styles, two legends that showed why they're legends. It's almost like both these guys found their 20s back in this match and rolled back the clock and had a pure wrestling match. Both of these guys are near the end of their career. John Cena this year, AJ Styles arguably next year, but this match deserves to be mentioned in the top 5 of 2025. I'm adding it number 3 because there are two matches that literally stole the show this year and need to be talked about in the top 2 and the top 1 positions. Going into number 2, WrestleMania Night 2, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley in a match that I am calling Beautiful Madness. This match was the embodiment of the women's evolution, the give divas a chance movement, the changing the title from divas to women's wrestlers, to not even women's wrestlers, to sports entertainment and professional wrestlers. There's no label that needs to be put on these women anymore because of this match and arguably a lot of other matches this year, but this match is the embodiment of where we've come in the last 10 years when it comes to professional wrestling, the women's evolution, the four horsewomen, and now what we have with Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky. You could literally make a list of Io Sky's top 5 matches of this year, and a lot of them will beat out a lot of the top matches I've even talked about on this list. This match deserves to be watched over. Women getting into the business of professional wrestling need to go watch this match and this match alone to show what the bar is when it comes to professional wrestling, and especially what the bar is when it comes to women's wrestling. This match is the number 2 match in WWE, TNA, AAA, and NXT of 2025. And guys, if I have butchered this list so far, please let me know in the comments and what you think should be the top 5 of 2025. But now we have the number 1 match of all of 2025 in WWE. It is Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk at WrestleMania. Heyman turns on everyone. The story leading into this wasn't quite WrestleMania 40, but now that you look back on it and see where we've come, and especially if Seth Rollins had not gotten injured, this match would have epitomized what all of 2025 was for the main event scene in WWE for both Raw and SmackDown. Honestly, I don't need to talk more about this. This match speaks for itself. Paul Heyman, being the man that he is, always out for himself to create the future of the business. And a lot of us, I can say, saw this coming, especially within the weeks leading into WrestleMania. But honestly, you didn't expect it to actually happen. Seth being just Seth Rollins, the architect, and always plan B, really stood out that this was what his entire career led to, was a move like this, another adjustment to create the new character. Punk always being the Paul Heyman guy, the OG Paul Heyman guy, and then Roman Reigns and his wise man as the tribal chief. You never thought that this would be the double swerve that we got, but what an incredible story that we had going into 2025, and I am looking forward to getting more stories like this in 2026. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and put the bell on for all notifications that are the Straight Shoot Unfiltered YouTube channel. Wrestling videos every single day in December, and if we can keep these videos going, we'll do them all in 2026 as well. Anyways, guys, like always, be good people.